Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going good. Let's see. Why is my video? There we go.
There we go. It's working now. Just want to make sure my audio working okay? I'm just using
Sounds good to me.
okay, good.
Yep.
And it's nice and clear. Just because sometimes it's really weird with Zoom. It doesn't pick up the right microphone even when you set it. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but
Yeah.
one of those hassles. Thank you so much for coming on, by the way, and talking to me.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Mark was telling me a lot about your story, and I thought it was really, really cool because I think a lot of people need to hear um, that you don't have to have a huge Facebook group in order to be successful. And
Yeah.
yeah, just like hearing that from someone like yourself who's proven the opposite, I think is going to be super helpful for a lot of people. Do you mind? What I want to do is I want to actually record this, and I've recorded a bunch of other interviews with other Facebook group owners, and I'm using that as like an additional opt-in or lead magnet, just as an extra for people if they want, like the outtakes of these interviews with Facebook group owners. I just want to make sure it's okay with you though first before I do that.
Yeah, it's good. Is there any way I can get a copy?
A copy of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely. I can record it, and then what I can do is I'll probably upload it to Wistia, and then I'll shoot you the Wistia link so you can download it from there. Does that sound okay?
Yeah. And is it okay if I put a blog post around it and like tied it back to what you're doing?
Absolutely, 100%. I would love that, in fact. And also, I'm just going to grab out my document right now. I'm going to take notes throughout this, but I just want to make sure that I can mention the right links and stuff for you. So
Yeah.
I'll just grab that out real quick right now.
Who is your audience? Like, who is this for primarily?
I mean, we're going to create a resource all around just basically around Facebook group marketing. So it's for anyone who's looking to use a Facebook group to grow their business.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting quite the interviews for doing it my own way. It's been a lot of fun.
Really? Who
Yeah.
else has interviewed you, if you don't mind?
Oh, let's see. Mark did one for something he was doing, and Chris Cooley, I spoke with him. He's a community manager and like builds communities. And
Oh, okay.
he came into my community. He was like, whoa, holy shit, this is a great community. Like, how did you do this? I said, well, I don't know. I think some people just have it, to be honest. But we should talk about that because there's a lot of people who think they can just start a group and it's going to be great. And if you're not there, it's not great.
Yeah, it's so true. I think a lot of people are starting groups because they think it's like a fast way to like create success, but I don't think people are doing it properly and they're attracting like the wrong people into their groups. I know that we did that. Like we grew our Facebook group to like 50,000 people. And then we were like, this is ridiculous. Like there's so many people in here who are not willing to like invest in themselves and not actually take this seriously. And so we shut it down and we reopened it up again with completely new rules and everything. And I actually think we'll probably do the same thing again, based off everything that I'm learning now from talking to you guys, from talking to other Facebook group owners. It's really enlightening to see, the mistakes that we're making and how we can actually improve them as well. And hopefully we get to create a really good resource for people as well, so they don't make those same mistakes. So,
well, and I would be so happy to help when the resource is out, if you reach out to me, like if it's for sale or whatever, to help promote it, because this is something my community always wants. They want to know, will you please do a training? And like, I don't want to do a training. Like, and I'm a trainer, so that's, there's a resistance there for some reason, but I know it's because I help clients, and some people, they're going to suck at groups. Like they're just going to suck at groups because they don't even have the right energy going into it. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I think some people are like natural community builders as well, whereas others don't really like that style of marketing. So links, is there any, so I just linked to your website. Is that like a good sort of thing? I want to mention that at the start and at the end.
Yeah, I think that So I'm going to put the links in the chat.
Perfect.
If you could link to both of these, this would be great, because I have an academy called Content Strategy Academy, and this is the stuff we talk about. Like, how are you using your content to build your thought leader brand? Like, that is, you know, I'm going to build a 7-figure brand in the next 12 months, and the academy is like, all roads lead to the academy.
Oh, I love it. I'll happily talk more about that, like exactly what type of content strategy and stuff is involved in that, for sure. I would love to maybe discuss that at the end of the interview, if that's cool.
Sure. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so I'm just going to dive in. With everyone else, I've just focused on 4 things. The first is starting a group. The second is engagement. The third is growth. And then the final one is marketing and sales. So those are areas that we're really trying to focus on with this resource. So I'll probably just talk to you about that, and maybe you can offer some examples of what you've seen in your group and whatnot. And usually, I mean, everyone I've done so far has been super fun. It's flowed really nicely, and I think this will be exactly the same.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, and so the other thing too, M. Shannon.
If you introduce me first as M. Shannon Hernandez and then call me Shannon, it's good.
Okay.
That's a branding story, but that's for another time.
Okay, right. Yeah. But your name is like Shannon Hernandez.
Yeah.
M stands for something else. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't Shannon wasn't like your middle name or something like that.
Shannon is my middle name, actually.
Okay.
But I go by Shannon, so it's all good.
Okay, cool. All right, great. So I'm just going to get this started in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, all right, I've got another special interview today with an incredible Facebook group owner. This is a really interesting story. I first heard about this person you're about to meet in a second through another Facebook group owner, Mark McWhinney. And he was just offering me some suggestions. I asked him, who do you know that's running successful Facebook groups, or who has like interesting stories around their Facebook group? And the person I'm about to introduce you today, they really stood out in my mind because this person is focusing a lot more on high quality as far as the members go inside of this person's group. And because of that, because of quite a strict policy, it's actually led to a incredible amount of success without a lot of the headaches that are involved with trying to grow an extremely huge Facebook group. And so I just want to introduce a Miss or Mrs. Shannon Hernandez from mshannonhernandez.com. You can also check out, she has an academy called the Content Strategy Academy.com. I'm going to put these links below this video as well, so you can have access to those. So just want to say welcome, Shannon. So awesome that you got to come in and chat with me today.
I'm so excited to be here. I love talking strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be covering 4 things like what we've done in every interview so far. The first is around starting a group, and then we're going to talk about engagement and then growth and then marketing and sales. And you have a really unique outlook on all of these things, because what you've done in your group is actually very different to what most people do, in the sense that I think most people are trying to grow as big of a group as possible. Whereas it seems like you're focusing on doing the opposite, focusing on more quality over quantity. Do you want to tell us, just to kick things off, a few of the numbers to start with? So the 2 main numbers is I want to hear the size of your Facebook group. And then the second is I want to hear the impact that has had on your revenue with your business.
Okay, awesome. I love talking numbers. I don't think enough people talk transparency in their numbers, so it's good. So right now my group has 350 members, and 9 people are awaiting approval. And we clean the group at the end of every month, and we always go back to 248. It's like the magic number.
You said you always go back to 250.
Always. And I'm waiting for the day that doesn't happen, but I'm not attached to it, because the rule in my group is you must participate, and a like does not count. Right. You must participate to stay. So anyway, that's that number. And then I've been in business only 4 years. I'm kind of a new business baby. But my revenue last year was $300,000.
Wow.
And it's from a very small email list and a small community, but I'm present and I'm engaged and I know the people and I know what they're working on and they know that I'm there for them. Like energetically, I'm there and I'm present in the group and in the emails that they get. So,
wow. I mean, asking like another numbers question, because I'm a bit of a numbers nerd as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to guess, or maybe you actually know what this number is, what percentage of your revenue would you say is impacted by your Facebook group of when you cull it back every month, 250 people?
I would say probably 75% or higher.
75%.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I don't want to say I'm shocked, but I am actually very shocked. 75% is incredible. And you say you have an email list as well, but you're finding that your Facebook group is having a bigger impact as far as sales go.
Well, many of the people that are so engaged in the group also wait for the emails. They like, if the email doesn't show up, they're like, whoa, where's the email this week?
Interesting.
People taking a break.
I bet your open rates are pretty through the roof as well.
They're like 35 or 40%.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Wow.
But something interesting, because I think this all fits together. As marketers, I feel like I would do a disservice if I talked to people in isolation about a Facebook group when they didn't know the whole strategy that was going on everywhere else.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to go there, but
I mean, I feel like we're going to go everywhere today.
Yeah.
I maybe before we dive into like the actual starting, I want to sort of like ask you about the story of why you started it, and if you started it with the knowledge that you have in mind today, or if that was stuff that sort of evolved over time. But right now, what products and services do you sell for anyone who's listening in?
Well, I am, the main thing, I'm in a transition, so I'm going to be very transparent. Okay. My goal in the next year is to grow a 7-figure brand, and I'm not talking $1 million. I'm talking like multiple $millions.
Right.
That kind of 7 figures.
Yeah.
And so I'm in a little bit of a transition. So over, half of my income last year came from one-on-one coaching clients, and I would coach them around content and strategy and marketing and business sustainability and that kind of stuff. And this year I started the year and I actually cut half of my income out and went back to just a handful of clients, and I'm growing the Content Strategy Academy, which you mentioned at the beginning of our time here. Yeah. And so my main product is this year-long membership into how you position yourself as a go-to person in your industry through smart strategic content. I also do things like I'm in Costa Rica right now, living here. So
jealous.
I'm hosting a retreat here in March that was sold out. That was mainly through people in the group. I had my first live event last year in New Jersey. So when I'm not in Costa Rica, I'm in Brooklyn. And that event profit at the end of 3 days was $141,000, the profit from that event. Wow. So it's about community and engagement. And you don't need a lot of people to make that kind of money. You need to show people that you give a shit. That's the quote of the day.
It's that simple. That's definitely a tweetable.
Wait, am I allowed to say that?
You can say, we're screw the 9 to 5, so you can say whatever you want.
Okay, good.
So I feel like we have a pretty good background as to what you do, and we can kind of use that as a springboard to talk about what we want to cover as far as your Facebook group goes. So let's go back to when you first decided to start that group. What were you doing before, and what led you to making the decision to start your Facebook group?
Awesome. So the very first, I was looking for a group that I could be a member of where the leader was present, like they actually showed up and engaged. And it wasn't full of just a whole bunch of bullshit spam on the wall. Like I wanted a true community. And I looked and I looked and I looked and I couldn't find it. And I went into groups and the leaders weren't there. And I actually, before I started my group, I decided, and I still do this today, if I find a group that looks like halfway decent by my own standards, I will message the leader and say, hey, I'm looking at your group. I just wanted to introduce myself. And if they don't answer me, I'm not wasting any time.
Interesting.
It's just like, I've got to cut through all of the noise and find the people who I can contribute to their community and they can contribute to me and my community as well. Like marketing is a two-way street here. Like it's been too much of people just pushing their messages on people.
Yeah.
So anyway, I looked and I looked, I went in these groups and they were just lame. They were like the worst groups ever.
Right.
And the intent was probably really good, but the energy just wasn't there. It wasn't a good fit. And so I thought, instead of bitching about it, I was actually just going to go create what it was that I wanted for myself to feed my own soul and my business, but I couldn't find. So I sat down and I said, okay, if I found this perfect group, what would it look like? And that's where my group philosophy started from.
Okay. So let's just talk about the rules that you have in place because like you said something at the start that a lot of people are probably like, wait, how are you just culling back to 250 people? Like what determines that you're going to get rid of someone, or what determines that someone's going to stay in there? So I just wanted to ask you, like, what are those rules that you have in place with your group that has maintained the quality? And did you set those rules? Did you think of those rules from the very beginning?
I did, and I was scared. Like, I was really scared. I'm like, no one's going to join this group, and they're going to think I'm a bitch all at the same time. Like, this is going to be really bad. But people respected it because it was something different. It was like a disruptor, right? They would read the description, and they'd be like, whoa, she just said that we put relationships first here, and that I'll tell you what's in the description.
Yeah,
we put relationships first.
Yeah.
If you do not believe that the way you build a successful business is through putting people first, this is not the group for you. And you have to participate every month. Either join a conversation or start a conversation, but likes do not count.
Interesting.
They do not count. So that's really the group rules. And it's a little fun too. Like it's called the Content Strategy Lab. And it says like, this is a place where we blow shit up. Like we're going to try content ideas and we're just going to blow shit up. And a lot of people that attracted them, like it's a safe place to test out your content before you put it out into the world.
Oh, okay. So, that's very unique. That's a very unique concept actually. So with the I'm trying to think of the level of congruency that you have here with your own products and services. So when in your group, as far as what everyone focuses on, is there like one particular content strategy, or is it just kind of like everything? Is it like blogging, video, podcasting, social media? Is it just covering all different angles of content marketing?
Yeah. So the thing that I'm best known for globally is the content personality quiz. And people can take that at my website. It's a 5-minute quiz that helps you identify what it is you'd be really good at based on how you produce and consume content naturally.
Right.
So that's the draw that people come into the group. It's like, you know, they'll take the quiz and they'll be like, oh, holy shit. Like I don't have to blog if I don't ever want to blog again. I'm a video personality. And that's empowering to people. So we talk about all of the content and how to use it in different places in your business to build your thought leadership brand, where it goes on social media. And it's just a safe kind of lab where we get to experiment with things before you put it out into the world.
Cool. That sounds freaking amazing, by the way. So you started the group, and I mean, you said that you were kind of worried that no one was going to join because you set these really strong rules. So actually, like, what did happen? Like, did you actively try and like use growth strategies to bring people in, or was it just by natural? I mean, I know that Facebook has their own algorithms where they show recommended groups and stuff like that. Is that what you focused more on? And did you start to see people coming in straight away?
Okay, good. So the first thing I did is I sent to my newsletter list and I said, great news. You guys want a place to test your content. If you want it, this is where to come. Just know these are the rules. Like, it was very transparent. So that was the first place. Then the strategy piece that's so important is, like, all roads lead to the lab, whether people want to join or not. Like, you take my quiz, the thing that pops up is great. The results are in your inbox. And if you want to learn how to blow shit up in your brand, like, come to the lab, and then there's the link. And so we do a lot of come to the lab. And I say a lot. It sounds weird because there's only 350 people there, but people come and they can't meet the minimum requirement of commenting once a month. That's it. Like, that is the no-brainer. If you can't freaking do that, you don't belong to learn in my community and be a part of the community, because it's a very active place there.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of activity, I'm curious to find out, like, what your level of engagement is. And then I kind of want to talk about how because I believe you're using a certain tool to determine who is actually showing up, like who's actually engaging in the group and who's not, so you're able to remove anyone who isn't. But what type of engagement are you seeing right now? I mean, it must be 100% based off your rule, right?
Well, it is, or you leave. That's it. I'm going to log in now while we're talking so I can actually give you some numbers.
I mean, if you set those rules, like, you know how most of them will say, like, there's this many people active. For you, it's like there's 250 people and 250 people are active. Like, that's literally the rule that you've set.
Yeah. And it's good. It's a good rule because, you know what? Here's what's happened.
Yeah.
Everyone knows of each other. We do, if you want to talk about engagement, this morning I hosted an 8 a.m. coffee chat. We do a monthly coffee chat, a monthly happy hour chat, and a monthly newbie chat. So anyone that's new can come, and they can come and get their, questions asked. I can talk about things and promotions that are going on and all that good stuff.
Okay.
So that's one way we increase engagement. But, and I realize this, I'm an extrovert. I get it. Not everyone's like that. And I don't want everyone to be like that, but I had to make it a safe place. And I did that by being available 3 hours a month in a coffee chat, a happy hour chat, or newbie chat, so that people could get to know me. Because it's no brainer that when people know me, they actually buy from me. Imagine
Can you imagine?
Right?
I mean, who would have thought?
Who would have thought? So I do a lot of time. Come meet people. We want to know about you. We want to learn about you. And what has happened is people are like getting together with each other and doing their own coffee chats, and business is being referred, and people are looking over each other's content. VAs are getting clients, and it's amazing what has happened in that group over the past year.
Interesting.
But you have to be the example for it,
Yeah, I want to dive more into these strategies, but before I do that, I want you to maybe explain what you're using. I'm getting a bit of feedback here, but I think everyone can still hear. I just want to understand the strategy you're using to remove people from the group. How does it actually work? What tool are you using, and how often do you remove people?
Okay, good. So the tool is called, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Grytix.
Grytix.
Grytix. Okay. It's Grytix, and it's a paid tool. I don't remember, maybe $100 for the year or something.
Yeah.
And it connects to your Facebook group, and you can set what you want to know. So like the end of the month will come, I'll go in and I'll say, okay, I want to know who did not comment at least one time in the last 30 days.
That's your criteria. Like
that's
it. One comment every 30 days. Okay.
I mean, it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And then people are like, I got kicked out. And I'm like, all you had to do is freaking comment one time. And you can come back. Okay. You can always come back.
Yeah. But when they do come back, they'll probably take it a lot more seriously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And you know what? It's just the rule. Like, some people are they're just group surfing. Like land in a group and sit there, and it's fine. But you know what? It's like what you and I talked about before we started recording. I am looking for the people that are ready to take action and do something different.
Yeah. And also we also know now that Facebook takes engagement very seriously. So if you aren't engaging if your group isn't actually engaging, then it's not actually going to show up as often on the news feed. So even if you have like 10,000 people inside your group, but only like 200 are actually engaged, then not all 10,000 of your members are going to see your posts in their newsfeed. So for you, I would imagine there'd be quite a high percentage of people who are actually seeing your group post show up in the newsfeed.
Yeah. So just to give you a few numbers, I'm looking at my weekly report. So from 110 to 116. Okay. So 6 days. We've had 77 posts, 1,118 comments, and the engagement is like 60 something percent.
Oh, that's insane. 60 something percent. So there's only 350 people in there, but in the last week there was 77 posts and 1,100 comments. Like for a group of 350 people. There are groups that have 10,000 members that would love to see those kind of numbers. So
gotta kick them out.
That's pretty incredible. Okay, so that's a new concept no one has ever heard of before, the concept of tracking anyone who isn't engaging and removing them. As far as like other engagement strategies, you mentioned before that you spend about 3 hours per month in the group. What actual strategies or like engagement pieces or content pieces are you producing in the group every month? And are they the same each month or do you change it up?
Okay, so just to clarify, I spend 3 hours a month on Zoom with members. That's different, okay?
Right.
So, okay, Monday, we have some posts. I didn't really want to do this, but the reason I did it was to have a consistent post is for any of the new people who felt like they were a little lost because it's an active group. Like you kind of just got to get in there. So we do something on Monday called Kick Monday's Ask. And it's all about, asking for what you in in business. And this is not asking for clients. It's like, hey, can someone review my sales page? Or, oh my God, I'm really stuck. Does somebody have a resource for this? Like that thread alone gets over 100 posts, and people are connecting each other to resources and offering to help. So it's been really good. Wednesday is called What's Up Wednesday. And it's where you get to share your promotion, something that you're promoting. And we have a lot of people who they kind of, you get the feel of a group, right? So it's not this slimy, sleazy promotion, but it's like, hey, I've got a workshop coming up on building out your vision for 2018. If you'd like to know more about it, here's the link. And people are registering.
And sorry to jump in there, but you're completely comfortable with people working with each other inside the group? That's not a problem for you?
Nope.
That's cool. That's awesome. And you know what? That's quite an interesting thing because it's starting to become a bit of a theme that I'm seeing after talking to a lot of Facebook group owners. At least the ones who are successful are the ones who are actually open to allowing their members to work with each other. So that's kind of interesting. Sorry, I jumped in right there. So Kick Monday's Ask, What's Up Wednesday? What else?
And then Friday is only for paid members of the Academy. So this is another strategy that I did that's very different. A lot of the coaches and like they all have these independent groups for everything they're running. And I don't want to divide my attention. And when people post on, it's called the CSA, which is Content Strategy Academy check-in, the weekly check-in. So they get to post a win for the week and they post an action for the next week. And it's only paid members. I rarely ever have anyone, usually they're new and they haven't like read the thing at the top. They're just excited to be able to post something. Yeah. But what that does is that all of my paid programs are talking.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm just going,
that's okay.
Bill's taking a call in the other room on Skype.
I get it. all of my paid programs are in that group. And they're talking about how awesome the programs are. And guess what's happening?
People are joining.
they're joining.
Yeah.
It's easy marketing. It's
word of
smart.
mouth, right? It's pure, it's like the best form of word of mouth that you're actually getting. Like they're talking about the program and allowing other people. So we see this in our group as well. Sometimes we'll see someone post something about Screw You, which is our membership site, or someone will ask a question about it and say like, I'm thinking of joining Screw You. And what we notice is because a lot of our members are actually in our free group, as well as we kind of have two groups actually. And so when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's an incredible idea. Just keep it all in one group. We have two, and it does split your focus quite a lot. If we did it again, we'd probably just have one group. But it's amazing to see what happens when someone starts talking about the product. You start getting other people coming in and saying, giving them their experience with that product, and we don't even have to do anything. In fact, like we don't even mention it. We just say thank you to everyone who says nice things. So that's kind of cool. I didn't think about the concept of just sticking with one group. No one has said anything bad about that as well. Like everyone's totally fine, like with not having a separate group for the pay program.
Yeah, because I'm not that group. They're all in that group because they come from that group to buy a program and they're still in the group. They don't need another group either. Like who needs another Facebook group?
Huh.
No one.
That's really fascinating.
Said no one ever.
Yeah, exactly. We definitely don't need more Facebook groups. Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, so are those the only 3 theme posts you use? Is Kick Monday's ask for questions. What's Up Wednesday is promotion. And then Friday is just for the paid members of the Academy. Do you have anything on the weekend as well?
Nope, because I don't work the weekend and I'm not modeling that.
Oh, I love your space. I love how much space you said, no, this is my space. This is how it's going to be. I love that, which is the opposite to what most people do is they just give up all their time. You're like, no way. This is my time. Do you?
No.
Okay. So
wait. I want to say something. Wait.
Okay.
I think we could talk about this for like days. What did I want to say? I wanted to say that on Tuesdays, I do my own posts. It's Content Marketing Tip Tuesday.
Okay. And
it's just, usually it's like the bullshit I'm reading in the feeds, which is like where people are stuck and they're just like, oh my God, like I need to grow my list by 1,000. I'm like, no, that's bullshit. That's the topic for Tuesday. Like I'm going to talk about that. But here's the thing, the other rule in our group, okay? And I have 3 admin that we call them Karma Crew. So they have volunteered and they help. The other rule is every post must have a question. Because how are you going to get engagement if you're not asking for something? Like it's like a no-brainer, right? So we rarely ever have out of those 77 posts in the last 10 days, we had 2 people who forgot the question. They were so excited about whatever it is that they were sharing. And someone, me or an admin, whoever saw it first, just dropped in the comment and said, can you please rephrase this and add the question?
Oh, so it's not just you who has to ask a question or your admins. It's literally every member. That the only way, so when they post, it has to be a question. Otherwise, you remove it.
Right. So here's a great example. When I get done here, I could say, oh my God, you guys, I just had the most fun interview with Screw the 9 to 5. I've been following you guys for a long time, actually.
Oh, cool.
I just had the most fun interview with them. And here's what we talked about. And then I'll post a question. And that's how you get the engagement. Right? So it's a huge, it prevents people from just sharing like, oh my God, I just was interviewed by such and such. Okay, who cares? Like, what is the point here?
So
we are happy for you.
What kind of question would you bring up? Like, let's say you did post that after in your group. What would be an example of like a question that would come up for you?
Okay, so I can think of several. One might be, I decided this year that I'm only doing podcast and video interviews because it's in my content personality. That's a common language we speak there. Right. So are you doing marketing that's falling in your content personality, or have you kind of gone back to your old kind of habits.
Cool.
Like that could be really one. That
So it's very, very insightful kind of question that you're looking to ask. Yeah. I mean, so right now, looking at the rules that you have, and you have a lot of rules. Your rules are that you have to comment at least once a month, and if you don't, you get removed. Every post must have a question, which is, I've never seen anyone do that before, so that's pretty amazing. One of the interesting rules that you have is your space as well. So you're saying weekends, you're not going to post on the weekends, but also
unless I want to.
Unless you want to, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not expected. Yeah. And
the other one was having the Friday just for paid members of the Academy. I've never seen anyone do that before. And we get a lot of people ask questions like, every time I open up a new program, do I have to have a new Facebook group? And I think this strategy actually solves that problem. So that's pretty amazing. Okay. Yeah. We've talked a lot about engagement. I feel like you're right. We could actually talk about engagement all day because it's so key. But well,
and listen, if you think about only 3 posts came from me or my brand, right? In the last week, that means 74 people initiated posts.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's incredible. So the amount of time you're actually spending in the group, I can't imagine is like over the top. I can't imagine you're in there all day answering questions and whatnot.
Well, I'm not, because the expectation is, like, here's a great example.
Yeah.
Someone asked me about Facebook group strategy on Sunday.
Okay.
And she tagged me. First of all, that's another rule in my group is don't tag me in your posts and your comments.
Another rule. I love all your rules.
And we say, the admins like say this about every 2 weeks, but here's what happens. If I'm laying in my bed and I'm scrolling, I'm going to see stuff because I'm in there. I'm going to see the comments. I'm going to be a part of the conversations. I was getting like 100, you know how it is. You get tagged and then everyone that comments, like you get the thing. It's easy to lose stuff. So you're not really allowed. Don't tag me. That's what I just say. I see you. I hear you. I love you. I know what's going on. Quit tagging me in your posts. Like I'm losing stuff. Okay. So they respect that and they remove the tags. People just get excited sometimes. Yeah. But anyway, she tagged me and she said, hey, can you lay out your whole Facebook group strategy for me? And I was like, this is a boundary that's been crossed. No, first of all, like this is not appropriate ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like something that, you're doing interviews to do whatever with, like, this is not a thing I can easily. So I simply said, hey, I can't do that right here. It's not possible, but this is what we work on and we study and we implement in the Content Strategy Academy. We'd love for you to join us there. Okay. So every opportunity I get, I'm redirecting people back to the Academy because everything's strategy and everything's content and everything's marketing. If you want to grow a brand, that's it. Like you don't need to read any other books. You don't got to go get any other programs. Like you need a strategy, content, and know how to market it.
Yeah. And also I'm presuming that you understand that it's a lot easier to work with someone and actually help them get results if they're willing to invest in themselves anyway. So exactly. I think that's, so if someone breaks any of these rules, like let's say like I go in your group and I tag you, and I kind of want to do that just to test you out.
Okay, but you better have something good to say.
Yeah, definitely something good to say. I'm probably going to say I'm jealous of you right now in Costa Rica. I'm going to sit here in the clouds of Vancouver. But would you kick me out straight away?
No, we don't do that. No. Okay. And you know what? 3 people tagged me today and it's fine. Like, whatever. We're not going to chase people down. One of my admins might message them and say, hey, can you remove the tag? But for the most part, it's just a friendly reminder that I actually get lost when you tag me because I get so many notifications. My eyes just like go over. Yeah. So no, we're not. The only reason you ever get removed is one, if you're rude. If you're fucking rude, you go. Like, we don't deal with that shit. And that's only happened twice in a year and a half, and they were gone. And I personally messaged them, and I'm like, that was rude. Like, you were being an asshole, and we don't do that here. So,
Oh my gosh, you are my hero right now. Like, you are literally my hero. Oh my gosh, there's so many amazing things here in the engagement section. The interesting thing, so we want to talk about growth here, but my assumption is you're probably not spending a ton of time like actively trying to grow the group. Where do people come in from traditionally, would you say?
They come from the quiz. They take the quiz. So my pipeline, if you will, other people call us a funnel. I don't like that word, but my pipeline is mainly it's Facebook ad to quiz, quiz to the pop-up that says, thank you, join our group. And then, man, I just make those newbies feel really welcome. We have a welcoming crew. We've got we want people to feel welcome. Like, have you ever joined a group and you're not introduced?
Yeah.
It's so fucking cold. Like I'm out of there. Like someone just adds me to a group and they don't even like say, hey, welcome Shannon or whoever, like there's 40 of us. It doesn't matter. We're so glad you're here. So we welcome people. And then we have chats, live chats like this so we can talk to each other and get to know each other.
Yeah. So like a welcoming committee, like have you actually assigned specific people to welcome people as they come in? There's so many amazing gems that just keep coming up here. Like I just want to keep.
I should write a book, shouldn't I?
You should definitely write a book. Absolutely. I'll help you publish it. So a welcoming committee, how do you determine, I'm presuming your admins are probably a part of that. But is there anyone else? Like how do you assign someone to be a part of like that welcoming group?
Well, it didn't happen that way. First, we have one admin. We welcome on Monday and Thursday. That's it. Two days a week. So her name's Karen. She takes care of introducing people.
Right.
So if you're going to join us, click, I'm talking to you, Josh, click today. So you get welcome tomorrow. Okay. And then, she welcomes people. And then I purposely go to that thread when I get on that day and I say welcome because we ask them to introduce themselves and tell us something they're really excited about in their business right now. Like that's the introduction part. And I want to get to know people. So then I see those notifications. And then there's just this organic 3 or 4 or 5 people who just love that post. And they're like, welcome. Hey, you're in the best group on Facebook. You can leave all your other groups. Like they just started like putting their own spin on it. And what I did is I went and I said, thank you for taking the time to welcome new members. And guess what they did? They continue doing it. Like I didn't have to assign anyone to that. I acknowledged them.
How do you decide if someone is allowed to be brought in or not? If someone gets accepted or doesn't get accepted?
Okay, so I'm preparing for explosive growth, as you know.
Yes.
So I have just put 3 questions just in the last 2 weeks. These are the simplest freaking questions ever. You could answer yes or you could answer no, and it's fine.
Right.
And do you know over half the people don't answer the questions?
50% don't answer the questions.
No. And they're such simple questions. I pulled them up so I could tell them to you.
Yeah,
because it's like a no-brainer question. Okay, the first one is, this group is for small business owners and entrepreneurs. Do either of these describe what you do? That's easy.
Yeah.
And guess what? Nobody says no, because if they do, it's already weed them out. They know they're in the wrong place.
So if someone says no, then they don't get accepted, which is fair.
Yeah, we're not putting them in there. Yeah. Okay. Are you willing to participate by starting and engaging in conversations and building relationships with other members in the group?
Yes or no? Simple.
And we're looking for a yes. If you put no, you're not coming in.
Yeah.
We believe that people and relationships come first, and this is what helps you grow your business. Do you share this mindset?
These are awesome because they're so easy to answer. Let's say someone answers 2 of the questions, but they don't answer 1. Will you let them in still?
Nope.
So 3 yeses is your rule.
That's the rule.
Okay. Love it. So 3, yeah. You just have so many rules.
Hey, I love rules.
Your book should just be like rules of running a Facebook group, and then just describe all of your rules. Okay, so growth, I feel like we don't even need to dive too deep into this because it sounds like organically you're giving people the opportunity to join like through your website, through your email list, through the recommended Facebook groups inside of Facebook. I want to talk about marketing and sales, because I know this is a big one. And I know this is the area that most people really struggle with Facebook groups, just because there's this air of like free around most groups, right? Mm-hmm. So what you said, you don't like to use the word funnel, but you like to use the word pipeline. How do you send someone down that pipeline off the back of your Facebook group? You suggested one thing before, which is if someone asks something particular that you know is solved within your academy, that you'll mention that that's available in the academy if they want to get it. But is there any other thing that you do as well?
Yeah. So I'm glad I did the coffee chat this morning, because I'm going to lead you through what I did actually.
Okay. You can share your screen too if you want to. Like, I'm trying to do that.
I'm just not going to right now, because it'll show some private messages that are private.
Very private messages.
Okay. Well, who knows if people want their name blasted all over.
Fair enough.
Okay. So here's what happens. The coffee chat was scheduled on an event. I worked the event wall a couple times a week. Hey, what are you taking your coffee? Like, what are you showing up to the coffee chat with? And someone's like, I'm coming in my pajamas. It's 5 a.m. my time, but I set my alarm. And she did. She showed up in her pajamas today. So that's something, right? People getting up at 5 a.m. and setting alarms to come to an event. That's something right there. Okay, so the question in the coffee chat and the happy hour chat is always the same. What's next for you in your life or in your business? And it's just a genuine discussion. Like, you know, I'm trying to buy a house in Costa Rica. That's what I shared today. Somebody shared that they realized they needed a new website. They were going to redo their website, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I write down the names of the people who came to the coffee chat. All right. Today there were 10. 4 of the 10 are already in the academy.
Okay.
All right. 6 of the 10 on my list. Oh, I have my list right here. See? 6 of the 10 on the list. I just make little notes of what they're saying, what's next, what they're working on. As soon as the coffee chat ended, I private messaged each one. And I said, like, for example, hey, Lori, first of all, thanks for joining for the coffee chat. I know it was like 6 a.m. your time. So thanks for coming. Enjoyed learning more about you and your business. As I told you on the coffee chat, I'm having a deep dive work day. This is a paid thing on the 25th, and I have 2 spots left. Would you be interested in getting help in your business?
Okay.
I don't beat around the bush. That's not my style. Clearly, you can.
Yeah. Straightforward.
Okay. And she said, you know what? I looked at it. Thank you for inviting me. It's a little out of my price range right now. Okay. But what I'd really like to know is, could you help me with X?
So you're actually taking the time. Essentially what you're doing is you're identifying like who is heavily engaged in that conversation, and then you're removing anyone from that list who's already an existing customer. And then you're starting a dialogue with the remaining people.
Exactly.
It's really simple. And so the interesting thing is, like, a lot of people might say, like, is that scalable? Like, can you scale that big time? Or is this kind of like a great strategy for someone just looking to get sales going in their business? Or do you feel like there's maybe a way that you can further scale this particular process?
Well, it's a good question, especially as I'm looking at, growing the brand.
Yeah.
But first of all, it's putting people first.
Yeah.
And it's conversation over other bullshit like spamming or whatever else, like genuinely being interested in people. Being the invitation. I talk a lot about that. Like, how are you being the invitation to your own stuff?
Yeah.
And is it scalable? I don't know. Right now, like, my program is $34.70 a year.
Right.
And they get in it and they get amazing results, and they tell people, and then I have a conversation with those people, and they come into the group and they come to the chat, and like, it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that we like to tell people is to actually do the things that aren't scalable. I think everyone is like thinking that you instantly go, you instantly start and you're selling like $1 million course. And
it doesn't work that way.
No, it's not. And I think it's interesting when you say do the things that aren't scalable, other side benefits start to occur. Like you said that now, because you've treated them so well, they go and tell other people word of mouth, which then leads to customers, which actually is scalable in the end, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do other things that are scalable. Like I pay for sponsorships and I go speak and I convert 50% of the room from the stage.
Right.
That's scalable.
Yeah.
Right. And I have that capacity, like live in person is my content personality, which is why I can do the Zooms and I can have an engaging Facebook live or whatever's going on. So knowing what my marketing personality is key to me being scalable in the end.
So what's next?
Because, what's next? In an hour, I'm going to go talk to somebody and ask them how much money I have to give them for them to take their house off the market in Costa Rica. Because we're waiting to get residency and I need a loan.
Right.
I'm going to see, like, can I make this bold ask? Like, can I give you 100,000? Well, will you take it off the market then? Like, I'll go find 100,000 and get it sent from the US like tomorrow.
Exciting that you're buying a home, by the way, in Costa Rica. So is the plan for you now, like, do you have plans to continue to grow this Facebook group? Like, do you feel like this style of marketing has a lot more opportunity ahead of you? Like, do you feel like, right now you seem to cull back to 250 people with this current strategy you have. Do you feel like there's a way to maybe get that up to, say, like 1,000 people or 5,000 people? Or do you feel like once you get too big and there's too many people in there, the community will lose its culture almost, and the results you get will start to diminish?
Yeah. So I don't know how to answer any of that because it's all just kind of like speculation. And I just kind of like try something. If it doesn't work, I make a pivot. It's how I've grown really fast in 4 years.
Yeah.
Would I like to have a group of 1,000? Only if I have the community I have right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is that possible? I mean, you have big groups. Is it possible?
I think it is possible, but I think that you would probably need more support if you were to run it this way. But I feel like it's not even that necessary for you to use this as a way of. It sounds to me like you prefer to focus on building relationships with individuals as opposed to, just getting like thousands of people in your group and churning through like so many people all the time. I feel like you really want to take that more seriously. So that's a good question. I don't think anyone's ever done it like this before. And so you're right. Like I don't know. And I'm interested in seeing how you develop this over the next 12 months because I think it's a really exciting strategy and I'm so excited to share this with a lot of people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we got to chat. I
know,
hope
this is fun. I'm so happy that we got to meet. I can't wait to tell Jill about the rules that you set because she will, I'm telling you right now, she's going to be so excited to hear all these rules afterwards. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. Guys, I highly recommend checking out what Shannon's doing. I put the links below this video to mshannonhernandez.com and then contentstrategyacademy.com. Is there any last words of wisdom that you can offer someone who's either looking to start a Facebook group right now or maybe has a Facebook group that is unengaged and just seems to be absorbing all someone's time and energy?
Yeah. I think the relationship is one of the most powerful currencies there is. Yeah. Because people don't forget how you make them feel. And I was a teacher for 15 years and I taught in inner city New York. And I could have rules, right? I could have rules and they didn't work.
Right.
And nobody gave a shit about what I said until they knew that I cared. And I have taken that and built this business on those same principles because in the end, people want to be heard and they want to be noticed. And that is how my marketing is set up right now. I hear people I notice what they're up to and I give a shit. Like, that's it.
It's so simple. It's like got nothing to do with all these specific strategies or whatever. It's just having a certain set of rules that you abide by. Guys, if you want to check out Shannon's Facebook group as well, it's called the Content Strategy Lab. And I'll also put that link in below. Just so you know, you have to answer all three of those questions, yes. And there are rules that you must abide by. Otherwise, Shannon, I'm assuming you'll have no problems removing them from the group, which, by the way, is very refreshing to hear. So thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited for you. I know we're going to see big things from you in the future. And yeah, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.